Yeah, so that's kind of where you start off. You have the usable and recoverable energy. And now you imagine you're an asset owner. And in this example, you have three storages, two larger one, one smaller one. We're focusing on Cactus here, um, located in the US, like for a bit more than 400 megawatt hours nominal energy and 75 megawatt hours of nominal power. And in your system availability, you see that the system should be performing as kind of well above maybe your 97% availability targets. But when you look at your revenue, you might experience as well a decline in the revenue, which you cannot explain by looking at the availability itself. And that's what we kind of want to deep dive into now. And so when you look at the recoverable and usable energy, you see you have your 405 megawatt hours here. Um, but ultimately, you only have a bit more than 350 megawatt hours total usable energy really available because 55 megawatt hours, you can see them here as well, are not available but can be recovered by corrective actions. You have as well some missing data because of data connection issues, and you have some neglectable aging in this case. And so it becomes quite directly apparent for you want to have more than 400 megawatt hours to operate. You only have 350, a bit more than that, but you can recover a big part of the energy which is not accessible. So let's take a look at how you would do that. Then it gets interesting on the bottom part here. So what you see here, that's the node level overview, how we call it. So a node in our terminology is um, the grouping of a group of strings or racks. So it could be an inverter, for example, as well. Um, and you have the entire list of all the nodes. They are sorted by the recoverable energy, which you can regain. You could as well do sorting by naming. But at least if you start with the recoverable energy, it gets clear where your actions are really needed. And so let's look at node 15.5. It has a usable energy of 1.4 megawatt hours and a recoverable of 1.3 megawatt hours. And you already see some root causes for those recoverable, that recoverable energy. And that's where we want to dive then further in on the right-hand side here. So those are the racks or the strings, depending on, again, how you call that, within that node 15.5. And you see how they are then contributing again to the recoverable part. So we have, for example, three strings or racks which are offline. If you click on them, you get as well a bit more information on what's the issue is about. So it's currently non-operational. You would have as well alerts on that in your system monitoring overview, what we provide. You have some recommendations available. So check the storage logs. Maybe there are some hardware connection issues. And there's as well the next steps. You can export that as CSV. You can jump to the system monitoring log from TWAICE. And you can as well just see if that problem has happened in the past. There is as well other root causes like imbalances and weak cells. So in the imbalances, it's identified again some different kind of recommendations. Here we would be targeted or forwarded to the performance manager from TWAICE. And then we have as well weak cell. So weak cell usually has a lower capacity compared to all the other cells in the string, um, which just really is an indication for potentially quality issues or accelerated aging. You get the direct indication where that is happening, so you could as well just go and replace the module. And you can, again, export that. You can send it over to your O&M team. And you can start, if you're someone from O&M and you want to explore it even further, because you want to see how that develops over time, you can jump to the Data Explorer as well. So like that, you can start as an maybe commercial-driven asset management team member. You get your picture, you see that there's a revenue decline, you see there's a certain amount of recoverable energy which you can gain back. You could just forward that information to your own operation and maintenance teams so they take over. Or if you want to deep dive further, or if you're then the operation and maintenance team member who has to take over from here, you kind of have a clear to-do list, which nodes, which components to take a look at, and then how to act on them. And because Olivia has mentioned it as well, just want to quickly highlight as well the motor integration here. So for some people, just looking at 55 megawatt hours, that is already telling enough if that is a big problem or not. But for many people, it's as well just a number, and you need to put that number into perspective, so it kind of really tells a story. And that's what the financial impact here does. So it takes the daily real-time power prices from different markets based on what Modo Energy is kind of currently providing. And then we put the recoverable energy in perspective. So that means you're losing 55 megawatt hours per day because of that recoverable energy. So that's a bit more than $1,000, which you're losing every day because of that energy which you cannot access. So this really is what just makes it easier to understand what does it mean for me. Should I act now? Is it a really urgent problem, or can I potentially just wait until next maintenance efforts are already planned? That's what I wanted to share as well in this sense. You can, of course, dive deeper into all of the different nodes, see what other kind of root causes are there for the different nodes, what kind of, what you can gain back by doing the different kind of corrective actions. But let me maybe stop sharing at this point and jump back and maybe finish this section with a quote from one of our customers who already experienced this. Yeah, so I want to emphasize that this is a challenge which is still very much present in the industry. We talk about availability things a long time, but it's not just because of that, it's not solved. And as I mentioned at the beginning, availability and performance losses remain an issue across the industry. And the great example comes from one of our customers, and they shared their experience. So we're still, reading out the quote, we're still struggling with voltage imbalance and leaving a lot of money on the table. And this new usable and recoverable energy feature has helped us quantify our concerns, which is helpful to bring to the management, again, from a VP of Asset Management from the US. So this really highlights one of the key benefits of the feature. It's not just about identifying the issue for us internally, but it's also about enabling data-driven decision-making and discussions with stakeholders who can be from the internal teams, but as well externally. So can be with your management team, can be with suppliers, can be service providers. And it's really about having a clear, quantifiable insights, which help then to ensure that the system, these issues are properly addressed and then as well just solved. And so ultimately, this tool is designed to provide greater transparency and as well actionability, knowing what to do. So you can optimize your asset, you can recover the lost energy, and you can maximize your revenue potential then with this, of course.